Well, hello, everybody.
Whoa, hello, welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast. With me, Nikolai.
This is Brian. Hello.
Welcome to KTIR, the Buzz. Just kidding, it's just us, whatever.
Yeah.
It's late.
Yep. It
Shocking.
sure is.
Man, it's been so long since we recorded a podcast, Brian.
Yeah.
It's been, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah. No, you're not supposed to tell
Oh,
them. They're
sorry.
not supposed to know.
Hey, welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast, the normal intro, with me,
Yeah.
Nikolai.
And me, Brian. Hello. So,
What have you been up to, Brian?
I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So,
What's that about?
let me start.
Did you play Integrate first?
Yes, let me get to that. So, in the last episode, I mentioned
Spoilers.
that I bought a PS5.
No way.
The biggest reason I bought a PS5
How was the controller?
was so that I could play Intergrade and Rebirth.
Yeah.
So, I learned a few things. First of all, FF7 Intergrade is just FF7 Remake plus DLC.
Uh-huh.
It is not an entirely separate game.
Gotcha.
So I wanted a physical copy because I had bought Remake digitally through my PS4 because I wanted to play it day of release, and that was an easy way to do that. But I kind of don't like the idea of not having physical media for console games because, like, who knows what
Spooky.
Sony's going to do. Like, Sony has gotten rid of things before, and so I bought a copy of FF7 Remake Intergrade. And then,
Really good copy.
so I get it, and I realize, oh, this is just FF7 Remake plus DLC. Okay, so I didn't really need to buy this, but okay, whatever. At least I have a
Nice.
physical copy. And then, so you're supposed to be able to transfer your save data.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't working, and I didn't know why, and I found out later. But so I'm like, okay, what if I guess I could replay the game. It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
it might be fun to just replay this again. But I was like, but no, I really want to find out what's going on. And then I tried to get, and so it had the box had a code for the DLC,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. This was new in box. It had the saran wrap and everything.
Yeah.
And it mentioned something about a region. And I'm like, this is region locked.
Like,
but
no way, this is a region lock.
and then, so I noticed the cover didn't have an ESRB rating.
Uh-huh.
It had a different
Had a
thing.
PAL rating?
It didn't say PAL anywhere.
Okay.
But it did. It had a different rating system that they apparently use in the United Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
And when I
PAL
looked at the
regions.
bottom of the code thing, it mentioned United Kingdom. So the seller did not mention anywhere in their listing that this
Right.
was a UK copy of the game.
Uh-oh.
And then I saw that it said frequently returned item, and
Returned
yeah.
item.
So I returned that
Nice.
and thankfully got my money back for it.
See, with the Switch, that wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Totally region free.
Also, I could not find any US copies of Intergrade.
Weird. Is it digital only in America?
Maybe.
That's
But
crazy.
so I bought also when I was buying these things, I had bought a physical copy of just Remake
Uh-huh.
in addition to Intergrade, which is like, oh, I was going
is
to
the same thing.
return Remake.
Yeah.
But instead, now I returned Intergrade because it
It's
was
the
a
same
UK
thing.
copy, and
Yeah.
the Remake copy I have is a US copy. So I now have both a physical and a digital copy of it. But, whatever. That's
Whatever.
fine. That's what I wanted anyway. It's a backup, basically.
Sure.
So first
funny.
I had to update my PS4 FF7 Remake copy to PS5 version. The PS5
Okay.
version
Yeah.
of the game. Thankfully, that is free, as it should be.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that they made the smart
That's nice.
decision to just make it a free update to go from the PS4 version of the game to the PS5 version of the game. Once I had it changed over to the PS5 version of the game, all the save data came over just fine, and I was able to play through the intermission uh,
Intermission.
yeah, Intergrade Intermission, the DLC, where you play a short story as Yuffie.
Yuffie.
Now, they have
The Great
pretty
Ninja.
dramatically changed Yuffie's role in the FF7 storyline.
Okay. Not just
So-
a thief.
Right. So in the original game, if you'll remember,
She's a villain, basically.
well, kind of. So like, this is well after Midgar, and you've done a bunch of other stuff, and then you are getting near Wutai, and she ambushes you in the forest and steals all your materia, and then you chase her down to Wutai, where she's from, and you
Basically.
and you confront her, and then she joins your party after that.
Isn't it totally optional too? In
Oh
the
yeah,
original
absolutely. You don't
FF7?
have to interact with her at all.
Yeah.
And you can skip Wutai.
Very interesting.
Just like Vincent is also optional. You don't have to go there and find him at all. In Intermission, you play as Yuffie, and she goes to Midgar, which she never did in the original
Never
game.
does that. Yeah.
And this is during I tried to place when these events happened. So you know the reactor,
Very Nomura.
yeah, so you're
to not know what's going
in
on.
the original game when you're going through and working with Avalanche to blow up reactors,
Right.
there's the
That's
one
the beginning of the
reactor
game.
where it blows up and Cloud falls, seemingly to his death, but then he lands in Aerith's flower garden.
Right.
So while that is happening, like he's fallen and landed, and the others are making their way
They're
back
like,
to
"Oh,
Sector
no."
7. That's when Yuffie shows up in Sector 7.
Huh. Interesting.
She like barely misses the
Yeah.
Avalanche crew, and in fact, at one point, she can
funny.
actually see Barrett and Tifa in the distance, but she doesn't interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
So she meets with the other members of Avalanche. So like they refer to Tifa and Barrett and Biggs and Wedge and Jesse as a splinter cell that is more radical, whereas regular Avalanche is
More chill.
more chill. And
Less
so
domestic terrorists.
Yuffie meets the regular Avalanche crew, and she meets a guy named Sonon, who's a very Final Fantasy character, just like
Extremely Final Fantasy.
you know that
Nice.
picture that shows like a bunch of students in an anime, and then it shows like I think his name was Tai from Beyblade.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't.
Kai.
He looks
Yeah.
so like out of place, like nothing. Like that's he had that kind
It's
of
so
look.
funny because Kai was like my favorite as a kid. I thought he was
Yeah.
so cool.
Oh yeah, Kai. That's right.
Yeah.
And so you and Sonon are a pair, and you go and do missions together and stuff. And your job is to infiltrate Shinra.
Okay.
So you go and infiltrate Shinra, and apparently this is like right before. This is not very long before Tifa, Cloud, and Barrett do that.
Do that also. Yeah. Long,
But-
long staircase, the classic
Yeah.
staircase scene. Yeah.
But you're doing this before Sector 7 plate falls, and they do that after the plate falls. So you're going through, and Scarlet. Do you remember Scarlet? Okay, she's a Shinra executive who wears a red dress and
Is Scarlet. Gotcha.
yeah, is in charge of like the machinery and stuff,
Gotcha.
like the battle mechs. And she recognizes right away that you're from Wutai. And so she traps you and makes you fight a bunch of machines. And then, so by the way, I guess I'm spoiling the story of Intermission.
Spoiler for Intergrade. Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil Rebirth too much, but I am going to talk about Rebirth. But I am spoiling the story of Intermission. So if you, or Intergrade Intermission. So if you don't want to be spoiled for that, stop now, play the game,
Stop now.
and come back and hit play again.
Yeah. But also download and follow us on Twitter.
Yes, all those things. So as you're going through here, there's a cutscene with these two super edgy characters.
Nice.
One of them looks like an Organization 13 member, basically.
Heck yeah.
But instead of wearing black, he wears white. He's apparently like an experiment, sort of. Both of these guys sort of are. And he, you only, the one guy who's like the older, more intimidating looking one, you only fight him in like a simulation.
Okay.
He's an optional fight in a simulation. But the other guy is part of the story and you have to fight him. And he is just supreme edgelord. Like, he's basically Sasuke, but.
Heck yeah.
And so.
Excellent.
He's the final boss.
Okay.
Of this DLC,
basically, yeah.
And like he has these like dark tendrils, like tentacle things that come out of the ground.
Nice.
It is such an annoying fight because like the whole slowly the room becomes just poison. So like you walk anywhere and you're getting damaged the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this fight took me like 7 tries, I think, at least.
Dang.
I finally beat it, but man. And at one point, his power starts to go out of control, and these scientists behind the wall are like trying to shut him down, and he stops them.
Whoa.
He's able to stop them, and he just says, "How dare you? How dare you stand in my way?" And he kills them.
Heck yeah.
And then he says, "No."
He's just straight up Shadow. I love it.
Yeah. And
I'm the coolest.
He has 3 stages. Well, technically 4, but he has 2 cutscenes in between stages 1 through 3. Very brief. And the second cutscene is right after he says, "This is where you die." And sure enough, I died like 6 times.
He was correct. I did die.
Because, good grief. So Sonon has this thing where...
Well, at least he was good.
If you die, if Yuffie dies, he will sacrifice himself to revive her.
Okay.
Which is... like useful, except I need both of them alive.
Yeah, I really need you alive, bud.
I would hit a Phoenix down, revive him, and then die, and then he would die to revive me, and then I'd have to revive him again. I was just constantly trying to heal and revive because
so
I
this
was dying
indeed
so
was
quickly.
where you die. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then I won't spoil the very end, but the very end, but timeline wise, that happens. The last thing she sees is the Sector 7 plate falling, and then she leaves Midgar.
Gotcha.
And let's just say Sonon isn't in Rebirth.
Gotcha.
So.
Oh, this is where he died.
So I also want to talk a little bit about the so fighting as Yuffie. Like the first few trash mobs were like, oh, this is effortless. Like
Easy.
this is
She's
very
so good.
easy.
Yeah.
And then I fought these pair of wolves. These wolves took me like 4 tries to kill.
Whoa.
They did not appear to be a mini boss
Yuffie
or anything.
sucks? Is that what you're saying?
No, it turned out I sucked and I had no idea what I was doing.
Bad at Yuffie. Gotcha.
I had completely forgotten some of how to play the FF7 remake. So like if you just use the square button to just do normal attacks and nothing else, you won't beat anything.
Okay, gotcha.
Those are way too weak. So you need to actually use Yuffie's abilities.
So it's like Persona. You don't just do regular attacks. Got it.
She has this thing where, so if you hit square, she'll just hack and slash with her giant throwing star. But you can also throw it. With the triangle button.
Yeah.
And if you throw it, you can then use ninjutsu. Which is basically
magic, sort of.
Yeah, normal attacks, but they are like magic, and they can be different elements like fire, ice, lightning, etc. And so you can change them to match
thunder, not lightning.
You can change them to match the enemy's weakness. Yeah, because they usually are weak to one element. So that's cool. So you do that, and then you can launch one of her abilities like. There's one called Art of War where she just hits really hard.
Nice. Those are sort of like limit break attacks almost then?
Well, yeah. And then there's also, she has a limit break as well.
Yeah, do limit breaks sort of work the same as the original game, or
Similar.
Yeah. Okay.
In the original game, you had like 5 different levels of limit break
Right.
that you can unlock. In this, you only have 3, and they're unlocked through synergy abilities. So synergy abilities are an ability where 2 characters launch
Like tag team attacks?
tag team
Yeah.
and launch an attack together.
Sure.
And you can unlock different synergy abilities. And the thing is both characters have to have their ATB meter up in order to use a synergy ability.
Gotcha.
And well, I'll get into that in a minute.
In Rebirth, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in Rebirth. So yeah, I beat Intergrade on normal. I
Okay.
do not have any intention of trying to beat it on hard.
Like, nope.
Not the fight. Oh yeah, the guy's name was Nero. The enemy.
Nice.
Because he had to have an edgy name too.
Yep, that is very edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nomura had just played Shadow the Hedgehog before he created that character. It's great.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, did you know that this year is the year of Shadow?
Yes, I did know
I'm
that.
very excited about that. Excellent.
Okay. So then Rebirth. FF7 Rebirth.
That
Starting with
game's big.
it is big.
That's a big game. So basically what I know about it is Donkey's video on it and cute clips of chocobos on Twitter. That's what I know about Rebirth.
So you can pet juvenile chocobos.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
It's great. So
They're
like
very cute.
yeah, so there are these places called chocobo stops. Mm-hmm. And at a chocobo stop you can sit, but
You could sit.
yeah, but
This game has sitting? No
yeah.
way.
So you have these
what?
cushions, and if you put a cushion down on it, you can sit there, and your whole party will be healed.
Oh, it's a tent.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
So the thing is, whenever you reach a chocobo stop, the sign that has like the chocobo logo and it says chocobo stop is on the ground, and you need to pick it up. And when you do that, you activate the chocobo stop, and then you can fast travel to it.
Nice. Almost like save points a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
You need a chocobo to be able to fast travel. So, and in each area, you need to tame a chocobo. It doesn't carry over to the next area.
Gotcha.
You don't just carry it in your inventory.
Yeah. There's no like stable system or anything.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
But once you tame one in an area, you have access to it in that area every time you go to that area.
Oh, okay.
And actually, anywhere you are in the area, you can just press R1 to call a chocobo, and it'll just show
Nice.
up. So that's cool.
Does it have the grades of chocobo like in the original game?
Not as far as I can tell.
Oh, okay.
They have different looks in each region, and they also have different abilities.
Oh, okay. But it's just region based, basically.
Yeah, so it's all regional. But yeah, anytime you're getting near a chocobo stop that hasn't been activated, a little juvenile chocobo will show up and excitedly like try to get your attention and then run towards
like bring you to the stop. Like
yeah.
he's
And
like
then-
advertising the stop basically.
And then when you get it to him, you
You're
can,
like,
you
"Go, hi
can pet
there,
him.
guy." That's
And
awesome.
so every single time I activate a chocobo stop, I must
Yeah,
pet the chocobo.
That's good. I just remember I loved getting the gold chocobo
Yeah.
in the original FF7. So
Yeah. So in the first area, the grasslands, you just have classic yellow chocobo.
Yeah.
And then there's also green, and then light blue, and then dark blue.
nice. Nice.
And then let's see. One of the biggest complaints about this game, and I have to sort of agree, is there
Okay.
are a lot of mini games.
Yes. I've heard that.
And now you don't have to participate in anywhere near as many of them if you don't care about the side quests.
Okay.
I do care about the side quests,
Right.
so I had to participate in all of them.
A lot of
And
side quests are mini games. Yeah.
yeah. So like some of them are fun,
Is
some
there
of
like
them are fine,
is there
and
like a
some of
deep
them
card
are
game you have to
awful.
learn?
Yeah. So there is a card game, and actually this is probably one of the better mini games.
Yeah.
It's called Royal Blood. No, Queen's Blood. Queen's Blood. and it's a card game, and there's not a lot to it, but there's more to it than you would think for a
There's
little
enough.
game within a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Some RPGs do that. Like,
Yeah.
I know
So
Yakuza games do that. Witcher 3 did that. Like, yeah.
also, somewhat recently, while I was setting up all my emulators, I was playing the first like 10 minutes of FF9.
Yeah.
And
There's
there was a card game in
too.
that. I'm wondering if
Yeah.
that's also Queen's Blood. I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think it's a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when you get to the big town, you
But
can learn
I have
that
found
game.
the strategy, or at least the easy strategy, is you just try to lock down the board so that your opponent just can't do anything.
Nice.
And if you can do that, then it's pretty easy to win.
Nice. Again, you can cheese it. As long as you figure out a way to cheese, it's all good.
That's right. And thankfully, I was able to beat all the matches that were actually story important, because there are a few. And like,
Dang.
if you can't win those, then you just can't
progress.
progress through the game.
Get good. So it's a skill issue.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I actually watched a YouTube video
Yeah.
like, how do you play Queen's
Yeah.
Blood?
Oh, I remember I watched so many YouTube videos on Chain of Memories.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, how do I just cheese this game? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. What cards are good? How do I play this stupid card game?
Yeah.
Turns out, just use Jafar as much as possible, and you just win Chain of Memories. So there you go.
So when you get to a new zone, so there's this character Chadley. He's in FF7
That's
Remake.
the dumbest name I've ever heard.
He's like not entirely human. I think he's a cyborg,
Okay.
or possibly just an android.
Booyah.
But so he has these data battles, which is very Kingdom Hearts-esque.
Very Kingdom Hearts, yes.
Where he has a battle simulator where you can fight data battles, and you can craft certain special materia with
And you
him
can
that
fight
you can't get from anyone
Marluxia at
else.
level 1 with
Yeah.
critical 1 damage.
Right.
No hit run. Got it.
Yeah. So I think from what I remember in Remake, that it's pretty much just the battle simulator and that's it. I think there's maybe a little more to it, but in this game he's a lot more involved. In at least in side quests. Again, you don't actually have to interact with him in any way, but if you want to do the side quests and stuff, you pretty much have to. So each area has intelligence you need to gather about the area for him. So there's these towers. You get to the tower, you activate the tower, and then the tower shows you where other stuff is.
Okay.
There's also life springs, which are connected to the life stream.
Whoa.
And when
Oh,
you
that's the Mako thing, right?
Yeah,
like
the green, like,
green
flowy,
lines.
like,
yeah,
yeah.
I remember that. I played FF7.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I always think of every time I pour a glass of Baja Blast, I feel like I'm drinking pure Mako energy. Like this is from the live stream.
It's actually Mako, but okay.
Okay, it's Mako. I'm gonna go with Mako.
Mako Tsunami.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mako Tsunami. The ocean says yes.
So there's life springs, and they give you certain intel. There's special enemies, so they're like variants of the regular enemies in the area.
Classic RPG stuff. Yep.
And then there are temples, shrines, I don't know what you want to call them, dedicated to various summons. So you can
cool.
get special summons through these.
That's always one of my favorite parts of a Final Fantasy game is the summons. Is it like classic, like Bahamut, Shiva, people like that?
Yeah,
or-
and you can't just use a summon right away like you can
Like in some games, yeah.
FF7. Like you need usually it seems like it's on a timer. Like
Okay.
if a battle drags on long enough, you gain the ability to use it. Seems like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what triggers the
system-
ability
how the
to
system
allow
works.
you to use it, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
And if FF10, you just have to have Yuna in your party.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. But yeah, the ones that you get through Chadley tend to be much stronger than the other ones. Like I have a Phoenix one, and like I have Ifrit.
Ifrit, yeah.
Yeah, It was in FF12, the one dude pronounced it Ifrit, and so
Yeah, it
ever
could
since
be
I've
that.
questioned my whole life.
I
But
don't know.
no.
Ifrit sounds more right to me, but
Yeah. But the Phoenix is way stronger than Ifrit, so
yeah. Yeah, I don't remember all the names of them now.
yeah. But
They
yeah,
were-
obviously
they were-
Bahamut is one
They
of
were
them.
really cool in FF10. I think
Yeah.
it did summons really well.
And let's see. And then also if you gather all of the life spring ones, there's this extra special hard enemy.
Oh, cool. Do they have good drops and stuff and EXP and stuff, or is it just like you did it?
You do get a special drop from every one of those
That's good.
that you can. So there's a crafting system, item transmuting,
Oh, okay.
as in alchemy.
Gotcha.
And so what's nice about that is you can make like really good stuff like X potions and Giga potions and stuff that you can't just buy from the
But
regular
is it all
stores.
consumables though? Basically.
No, it's well, not all consumables. It's also like equipment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not weapons, but like armor.
Materia.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But armor and stuff. Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Accessories probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they still have stuff like that, like rings and stuff?
Yeah, there's you have weapon, armor, and accessory.
Yeah.
And those are your 3 slots.
It's hard to know. I don't know what's still from FF7 and
Yeah.
what's totally new. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot carried over.
Okay.
So, also, thankfully, your party levels with you to a degree. So
good.
none of your party members get super left behind in level, which is good because sometimes in the story, you get situations where you only get certain party members.
Forced to use certain
So,
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not using Kate Sith, he still levels up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which Kate
That's
Sith
good.
is ridiculously strong.
I mean, he's decent in FF7 too.
Like,
so.
I haven't used him against any really strong enemies yet, but against regular trash mobs,
like a
he
beast.
solos. I don't need to use my
awesome.
other party members. He just solos. Like,
That's cool. Is Red 13 still really good too?
Yeah.
Because he's so good
he's
in FF7.
very strong still.
Oh,
Yes.
He's so good.
So let's see. In combat, so I have a gripe with party members in combat because my party members are pretty much worthless.
Nice.
So I've mentioned before in the regular difficulty settings, not the classic mode, your ATB meter only goes up if you attack. Well, my party members don't really attack like at all.
They don't attack that
so their ATB meters just never really go up, and so they just don't do anything.
Nice.
They manage to mostly stay alive,
That's
which
cool.
can be useful.
Cool.
So that if the character that I'm actually doing all the work with dies, then I can switch to one of them, attack a few times, get my ATB meter up, and then revive the character that is doing all the work.
Is there like a setting you can change for that?
Not that I have
or-
found.
Okay. Because I know in a lot of
I may be stupid, and there might
mean,
be just
I don't
might
know,
just be
yeah.
right there, but I haven't seen it anywhere. So.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Because you had like gambits and stuff in other games, and
Yeah.
those would determine their behavior in battle, but I haven't found anything
Well,
like
I know
that.
in like Kingdom Hearts, you can change how Donald and Goofy act in battle depending on how you want them to.
I should probably look a little
focus on.
harder
Maybe, yeah.
because
I don't know.
that might exist. I just haven't found anything like that.
Yeah, I know nothing about it, so yeah.
But yeah, so because of that, I have found for me the ideal team composition is to have Cloud, Barrett, and Yuffie. Because Yuffie and Barrett are both capable of ranged attacks, which is very useful for
That is
staying
nice.
away from harm.
Yeah,
So like
that makes
Yeah.
sense. Oh, is it only 3 party members at a
Yep.
time? Oh,
only 3 at a time.
interesting. 'Cause
I think that was true in Remake as well. So
wasn't it 4 in FF7?
I can't remember.
I think it was 4.
I think it was only 3 actually. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
But
Only
yeah.
4 party members. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be
So
crazy.
That has varied across the Final Fantasy generations.
Yeah.
That has not always been the same. But yeah. So just getting all of those pieces of intel can take a little while, especially like Cosmo Canyon took a long time.
Uh-huh.
Actually, Nibelheim didn't take very long at all, though. But anyway, also the game does get harder as you progress.
Yeah.
So like first few areas, just 100% complete, no problem. Nibelheim there's an enemy there. I'm gonna have to like actually like figure out how to beat it.
Yeah, like really
Like
strategize.
I can't. It's hard enough that I can't just try over and over and eventually win. It's like no,
I gotta learn the trick.
I need to
this.
learn this one.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And then so let's see. There was the towers, life springs, temples, special enemies, and Moogles.
Moogles.
So in every area there is a Mog stool.
Capu.
It just says Mog in big letters. And you go inside and it transports you to another world of the Moogles.
Oh.
And the Moogle needs you to capture all of these Mooglets that are around that are causing mischief.
Oh no.
Which basically means that they are just launching attacks and they can hit you. And if you get hit too many times, you lose.
Nice.
So you need to go collect all of them and bring them to the middle of the tree at the middle of the map and not get hit. Mm-hmm. And this gets progressively harder as it goes on. And at one point, they implemented a time limit.
Oh, nice.
So I have not completed any of the ones that implement the time limit because they are way, way too hard.
Nice. Very Kingdom Hearts. This.
Yeah, this is the only mini game that I've completely given up on.
Yeah.
Every other one, I eventually powered through it. But
forget the Moogles.
Forget it. Yeah. So I have not done the one in Cosmo Canyon or in Nibelheim or I think in Gongaga either. Yeah. Because they were all too hard. And it's just the time limit. Everything else like is doable. If they gave me like, I don't know, 3 times as much time, then yeah, I could do it. But
time limits always mess me up too.
Yeah.
I psych myself out if there's a time limit. That's the hardest part of Pikmin 1.
One of the most frustrating ones was, so in Cosmo Canyon, the Chocobos, you can go to a cliff with a like ramp and you can jump off and fly.
Nice.
And there's a mini game, part of a side quest, where you need to jump off and fly through these like point rings.
Little rings, yeah.
And the flying is so awkward.
Yeah. That's great.
And so like you can dive and then come back up real quickly and then it'll give you a little boost. You have to dive hard and long and sometimes it's really difficult to time it so that you come back up in time, and so you'll just hit the ground and then it's over. It took me so long to get that.
It makes me think of Loft Wings from Skyward Sword. Yeah.
Or like in Scarlet Violet.
Oh, well, yeah. That's
flying.
true.
Only this was way harder than that
Yeah.
for
Scarlet
me.
Violet's is easy. You just go in that one. Yeah. They make it easy.
There's a Chocobo race, which I totally nailed. So
Nice.
whatever. No biggie.
That was the iconic minigame of FF7. So
Yeah.
the Chocobo races.
Yeah. There's one where in a lot of areas in the game that were not a very big deal in FF7 are made a much bigger deal in this game.
Right.
So like Costa del Sol,
Fleshed out. Yeah.
the
coastal area.
island. Yeah.
I see screenshots from that all the time.
Yeah. So that's where you ride the
segways.
wheelies, the segways.
Heck yeah. The infamous.
That's where you get to see everybody in their swimsuits.
Yeah.
So in the original FF7, I remember there's like almost nothing to do in Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
Like you show up, you buy some items, and then you go to Mount Corel.
Yeah. It's like,
pretty
okay,
much
cool.
it.
But in this, I'm sure they added a lot.
In this, there's a lot of side quests.
Is there a volleyball minigame?
No.
Missed opportunity.
So also in the original game, you see Hojo there, Dr. Hojo, the evil like Shinra doctor, just chilling on the beach.
Nice.
And like that's the extent of it. But in this game,
Vibin'.
he brings some monsters with him for you to fight.
That's
so
nice.
yeah.
How nice of him.
Uh-huh.
He had to remind you he was a bad guy.
Yeah. And then you've helped this guy set up a hotel.
Nice.
Um,
That's good. You're not on like a world-saving mission. You have time to just stop and
yeah.
help a guy
Also,
with a hotel.
there's stuff to do on the ship that takes you to Costa del Sol.
Like a big cruise ship type of
Yeah.
thing. Do
Because
you have the airship yet? Is that part
No.
of it? Oh,
I think
man, this game is slow.
I think that's at the very end of this game.
Oh, gotcha.
I think so.
That's crazy.
And so
They're really lengthening FF7,
they
aren't
they
they?
are. They're padding it a bit, but I'm okay with that.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's cool.
So like the first place you go to is Calm. Kalm. It's
Calm. That's how you spell
it's
that.
a town. Right. Well, the word is Calm. This is Kalm.
Oh, I guess that's true.
So after you leave Midgar in the original game, that's the first place you go, and that's the first place you go here too. And it has the whole Cloud tells the story of Sephiroth and Nibelheim burning down.
Oh, does it have the big snake with the needle? And it's like, did Sephiroth do this?
That's a little later, but yes.
Classic.
And so I was really looking to this forward to this part
Yeah.
because that's one of my favorite parts of the game is actually just this
Great flashback. Yeah.
like flashback
that's
series.
that's the scene of the fire and Sephiroth walking and like iconic. Yeah.
And dude, you play as Cloud like
Young Cloud.
yeah. Well, he's only 5 years younger,
Yeah, I guess so.
but
He's a pretty young man though. So
Yeah.
that is pretty young.
so like you play as Cloud like the town is burning down around you and
Do you like fight Sephiroth?
no
okay.
because you
Scary.
you can't really but
Yeah, he would just kill you.
He like hurts his leg and he like falls on the ground. He has to like crawl and he's watching Sephiroth just mow people down.
Jeez.
It's brutal and
That's
dark.
insane.
Yeah.
Does Tifa have her little cowboy hat?
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
good. That's important.
Yeah, they did not skimp on any of that. There's a point while you're going through this because you're supposed to be Cloud telling a story essentially, but you're actually playing as Cloud walking through the town while anyway. So there's a point where you go up to Tifa's house and you have the option of going inside or not. And Tifa will ask, "Did you go inside my house?" Or and
Whoa.
you could say yes or no.
Of course I did. With the love of my life.
And so he just says, like, I thought you might be there. And then you go upstairs, you have the option, go in Tifa's room.
And if you say yes, you're telling Tifa right now that
Yeah.
you did this.
But of course, I went into her room
Of
and played her
course.
piano.
You said yes.
Because you can play the piano in this game.
Yeah, you can.
And so it's a rhythm game that involves
Yeah.
the two analog sticks. The
Heck
left stick
yeah.
is left-hand chords, and the right stick is individual notes with the right hand on the high notes.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten an A rank in the easiest song, but
There
it
you go.
is very hard.
I've seen some insane YouTube videos of
It is
people playing.
extremely awkward to try and play music this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I think it was probably on purpose to not make it easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yet again, another mini game.
Yeah. So Costa del Sol had a bunch of mini games, and
I'm sure.
like one of them was
Dumb beach mini game.
yeah. So like there's this like pirate ship, and there's these points, and you have to like shoot them.
Kaboom! Splish!
And
Not quite like that?
It's
Okay.
the controls are very awkward, and it does not work very well, and so it was very difficult to get a decent score. Yeah. So the first area includes Calm, is the grasslands.
Calm. The grassland. Yes, I remember the grasslands.
And then, and that's where you find the Midgard Sormer, which is the giant snake that, yeah. So,
Did Sephiroth do this?
you don't have the option of not fighting it, actually, it turns out.
Oh,
you get the
nice.
chocobos to avoid it, but it attacks you anyway.
Oh, geez.
Because you land on what looks like land, only it's the top of the Midgard Sormer, and then he ambushes you.
Wow.
And then, so instead of seeing,
Wasn't it totally optional in the original game?
as long as you had the chocobo, yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of seeing a Midgard Sormer already on a big pike and asking, did Sephiroth do this? Instead, you fight the Midgard Sormer, you beat it, it grabs Cloud and goes underwater. Sephiroth shows up and kills it,
Whoa.
and then leaves it on the
So
pike.
you know Sephiroth did that.
Yeah, so you watched Sephiroth do
He
it.
saves Cloud's life.
Yeah,
Nice.
because only Sephiroth is allowed to kill Cloud.
Only I can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Also, this whole
Am I in love with you? Maybe. I don't know. It's really weird.
the entire game you are following the guys in robes that are like yeah.
Nice.
And so yeah. And so you once you
What
finish
about
the
those Shinra
grasslands,
guys? The guys in the helicopter, are they around?
yeah. The Turks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's all I remember. Guys in suits and helicopter.
So you remember Reno, the red-haired one?
Yeah.
So he's
Reno's
the
so
one
cool.
who drops the plate.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't see him at all in Rebirth, or at least I haven't yet, because
Wow.
he is recovering because that mentally messed him up.
Dang.
Because
He killed a lot of people.
I don't think up until that moment he realized exactly what he was doing, what the consequences of his actions were going to be.
Dang.
And so yeah, I think it messed him up a bit little.
Interesting.
But Rude, the guy with the sunglasses,
Right,
the
the other
bald
guy.
one,
Yeah.
he just isn't
I don't
phased
care.
by anything. And then there's
He's so
Elena,
rude.
who is basically Larxene.
Yeah. Blonde sunglasses lady, right? Yeah.
Well, she doesn't wear sunglasses generally, but
Maybe she does an FF7. I always picture her with sunglasses. I don't know.
she like looks and talks and acts like Larxene.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah. She's the type of person that's really fun to beat up.
Yeah. I love beating
Like, you're
women.
a terrible person.
I love
I'm going to
beating
beat
women
you up
in this
now.
game.
Yes.
Finally.
And then Sung, who's their leader, and he's like, a few of the characters look Asian. He's the only one with an Asian accent.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Who, like, when I first encountered him in FF7, that's not what I pictured at all.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, you have at least 2 encounters with them.
Yeah.
So there's the grasslands. There's Junon, which is the seaport that has the giant cannon.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a whole thing where you have to, like, there's a gun demonstration with like a bunch of Shinra soldiers, and you have to like lead a squad of them, and so it's another mini game.
Yeah.
Where you have
Wasn't
to.
that in the original game
Yeah,
too?
it's
sort
just
of?
a little
Yeah.
more elaborate in this,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I remember being stressed out about that in
Yeah.
the original too.
And then Yuffie tries to assassinate Rufus Shinra.
Nice.
So right
Bold.
right before she does that, he's like basically offering you a deal of, you guys are too much work to deal with,
much
and I have
effort,
other
yeah.
problems. If you agree to stop messing with us and go kill Sephiroth, I will leave you alone.
Just get rid of Sephiroth.
Yeah. And then
Nice.
Yuffie almost kills him, and he says, nope, never
Deals
mind.
off.
Yeah, deals off.
You're assassinating me. Nice.
And
And then you go to the casino, right?
not yet.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Pretty close, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't the original game, but
Yeah. Well, so the casino is more like Midgar. In Midgar, I think you might be thinking of the Gold Saucer.
yeah, the gold
Yeah.
saucer. That's a casino to me. It's like more like a
Yeah,
amusement
it's
park.
like
I
a
guess.
theme park, but
like
yeah.
an amusement park more
Amusement
like, I
park.
guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so you go there. So like first is Costa del Sol, the beach, and then after Junon, it's the ship. Then it's Costa del Sol. Then it's the rest of the Corel region, which is where Barrett grew up. And there's the Corel Desert and stuff.
Yeah,
and then
real
there's
deserty
Gold
area.
Saucer.
Nice.
And you have fun playing games in the Gold Saucer.
So fun.
You can go on a little date with Tifa.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
This is where you meet Kate Sith.
Yes, of course. The gold saucer always reminds me of Cowboy Bebop a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels like very that
Also,
type of thing.
Costa del Sol is where Yuffie officially joined your party.
Oh, okay. Nice. Much earlier than
Yeah.
the real game. Yeah, the original.
Which I was thankful because she's actually quite useful.
Right. She's good. Yeah.
And then So there's the gold saucer, and then there's Barrett's old buddy Dine, where you meet him. You have that confrontation. Shinra shows up, tries to kill you guys. You
else
escape.
is new?
And then after you leave the Corel region, you go to Gongaga, which is where Zack is from.
Oh, heck yeah.
So also, there's sort of like a weird parallel universe thing going on where Zack is like the main character.
Yeah.
And so like
that stuff always I never really understood.
Yeah.
I played all of Crisis Core on the PSP, and I still don't really know who Zack is.
So he's I don't remember if you remember, but he's introduced in the original FF7 game.
Is he really?
Yep.
Wow.
So,
I don't remember that. Yeah.
So Cloud's memories of Nibelheim and stuff, that was Zack. Cloud was one of the 2 Shinra soldiers with them that had the helmet on and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Zack is the one that had the purple outfit and the Buster Sword. That was all Zack. Zack is the one who...
and he was in Olympus Coliseum hanging out with Terra.
Right.
So...
And then... so... In the original timeline, they... After Shinra's president gets killed by Genova and stuff, and you get away. The team gets away and they go to Calm. In Zack's timeline, there's a big explosion, and in the wreckage is like Barrett and Tifa, like they're all passed out on the ground, and Barrett and Tifa get life flighted away, but Zack manages to save Cloud and Aerith.
Nice.
Who are both completely unconscious. He takes them to Elmira, who is Aerith's adopted mom. And he's just going around being Zack.
What's up?
Being a happy guy.
I'm a happy hero.
And then in this timeline, Biggs survives somehow.
Okay.
And so he meets and chats with Biggs, and they're both kind of like, feeling something is off. And so every once in a while, like when you finish a story part in the main story, you get a brief little Zack moment.
Nice. Interesting.
Yeah. But so Cloud had 0 memory of Zack until they went back to Nibelheim, which is all the way in chapter 11. It's fairly late in the game. He goes up to his into the hotel room where him and Sephiroth and Zack all stayed. And he suddenly remembers Zack, and he's like, what happened to Zack?
Where's Zack at?
Like, wait a second, how did I not remember him before?
Why don't I remember Zack? Where is he?
And then they're making their way to the Nibelheim reactor, and then he remembers that Zack was the one who fell when the bridge collapsed and fell to, like, quote unquote, his death.
It's like, wait a second.
And he's like, I think Zack's dead. In Gongaga, you actually meet his parents, and Aerith talks to them, and then she realizes, oh, I probably shouldn't have talked to them, because all I did was remind them of their son, who they haven't seen in years.
Who's probably dead.
Who's possibly dead, yeah.
But is he dead? Dun, dun, dun.
Not in whatever alternate timeline is going on.
He's hanging out with Biggs, who's also dead.
Yeah.
But we all know he's hanging out with Terra.
That's right.
Gotta spruce this place up for the games.
There's a like kind of social link mechanic.
Heck yeah.
With your
Everybody's
party members.
doing it now.
Yeah. And I really wanted to like you do the right lines with everybody, but especially Tifa.
But especially Tifa, obviously.
because I'm a firm Cloud X Tifa fan.
Forever. So. That's okay. Every time I've played Persona 4, I can't choose anyone other than Chie. I've tried.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So.
Whereas
for
me, it's
Mr.
Yukiko.
Yukiko Stan. No. It's all about Chie.
Do not ever use the term stan to refer to me ever again.
Listen,
I don't care even if it's accurate.
I'm sorry that you're a simp for Yukiko.
Okay, I actually am better
You're like,
with
okay, I'll
Sim,
take
with Sim.
Just don't use stand in front of me.
Yeah, because I'm still not 100% sure what it means.
Oh, okay. Simp is much more of a strong word than stand, but
I understand, and I don't care.
okay. Anyway, continue. So is that where you're at exactly? Like,
Well, yeah, I'm in
playthrough-wise?
Nibelheim. Let's see. Oh, right. After Gongaga is Cosmo Canyon, which is, of course, where Red 13 is from.
yeah.
And that's when you find out his name is Nanaki. And
That's
also,
right.
when you first meet him, his voice is like this.
All deep
And
and
then
cool.
he's like this when you get to Cosmo Canyon, because that's what his actual voice is. Apparently, and he was just putting on that deep voice so that you would take him seriously.
I wanted to sound cool. I'm a dog.
Because even though he's 40-something years old, in his species years, that's like a teenager.
Oh, that's funny. He's like
So
really
he's
young.
actually pretty young.
That's funny. That's awesome.
You also meet Bugenhagen,
Whoa.
the guy who floats around on a little ball. He's super old
Yeah. Bugenhagen.
and wise. Yeah.
I vaguely remember that person. Now,
Also-
had you been a frog at this point yet?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yep.
good. That's good to know. We all know the best part of FF7 is becoming a frog.
Yes. Also, the frog is like badass. Like that.
Yeah.
Like
Frog's
he's
cool.
super strong.
Is that there's like a frog mini game, right?
Yes.
I've just seen a frog hopping around with the Buster Sword on its back.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
Okay,
That's just-
so
they know what the people want.
yeah,
Good, clearly.
there was a mini game in the original game. There was, I think it's at Cosmo Canyon, or it's at I think it's at Cosmo Canyon.
Okay.
And like Shinra is attacking, and you have this like army to fight them with, and it's a little mini game, and you have like different soldiers.
Interesting. I don't even remember that.
I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Is it like a strategy game type style? Was
Sort
it
of.
like RTS style?
Sort of.
Nice.
And so anyway, so you see it on like a game table, and then you get sucked into it.
Whoa.
And they look like in the original game, like they're
Oh, cool.
PS1 models.
That's cute.
I thought that was a
cute.
great homage to that.
Yes.
And there's a recurring character
We're
in
so
several
low poly.
Final Fantasy games called Gilgamesh.
Okay.
He's like a samurai.
Garuga bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you beat him, you get Genji armor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so
love
he's
when
in this
games have
game,
recurring stuff like
and
that.
he's like very goofy villain.
Okay.
Like-
That's funny.
Foul knave.
Nice.
And you have to fight him in this game. And
That's cool.
yeah. Because you're after this proto relic,
Whoa.
and he's after it too, and you so you need to fight him to get
So
it
you
from
kill him for it.
him. Yeah.
Nice.
He has like 6 arms.
Oh, cool.
So he has like samurai armor, and he's got like a
Does he have a
spear
sword in
and a
each arm?
sword,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, so he's also in FF12 as an optional boss.
I love
And the
when they do
first
that,
fight
yeah.
with him is very easy. The second fight with him is kind of moderate, and the third fight is incredibly difficult.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. And
Do you have any cool new swords or anything?
that's the thing. I have like 5 or 6 different swords for Cloud, but the second one I found is still the best stat wise. Most of the rest are magic focused,
Yeah.
but like I
Yours
want
not
better physical attack with
Magic
Cloud
focused?
at least.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah.
Maybe magic's the way to go in this game, though. I don't know.
Well, I do wind up using it a lot.
Yeah.
So.
I remember in the original, you can get like the Masamune and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like legendary swords and
It
stuff.
seemed like in the original, every time I went to a new town, I would just
There's a
go
new
to the
weapon.
shop
Yeah.
and there would be a better weapon.
Yeah.
And like that
That's
has
pretty
not
much
at all been
yeah.
true in this game.
That's the old style of RPG, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they don't really do that anymore, but
yeah. Yeah. So
that's what I like about Super Mario RPG.
mm-hmm.
That remake is insanely good. If you ever really want to play Mario RPG, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
The new remake is so well done.
All right. So I have talked a lot, and we're even getting close to time, but
Well,
you
if
had
I,
something to talk about.
if I went into that, it'd be a very long episode,
Okay.
but that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. We
All
can
right.
we could talk about RPGs for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Other RPGs, because all this talk, people like playing FF7 remake and like the Persona 3 Reload looks so incredibly good. Which
Yeah.
you should definitely play that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if after Rebirth, if you have plans for other games, but you have a PS5,
Yeah.
so you could play Persona 3 Reload, and that just makes I've really wanted to play like a Persona game or something.
Yeah. I mean, I still have Persona 5 and still haven't played it. So
Oh yeah, gosh, I can't believe we haven't played Persona 5.
yeah.
I'm like a big Persona 3 and 4 fan. I just haven't played
Yeah.
5 yet. Yeah, maybe I should just watch the anime
Yeah.
so I know the story. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a time commitment is part of it.
Gosh.
And I mean, obviously, like I've put almost 70 hours into FF7 Rebirth,
Yeah.
but I was way too excited to play it where I'm not nearly that excited to play like
Right.
Persona 5.
Yeah, like I'm putting in that many hours shiny hunting, but also when I'm shiny hunting, it's like in the background almost. I could watch something or do stuff while I'm doing it. With something like Persona 5, you're very like focused
Yeah,
and
very
in
invested
it.
in the game. Yeah.
Very invested. So, yeah. But now that I have like Persona 4 on the Switch and stuff, yeah, I might just do it. I don't know. I could play on casual and just do it quickly, maybe. Try to do it quickly. But yeah, I haven't even finished the Mario RPG remake, so
Yeah.
I should probably do that first. But that is not a very long RPG comparatively. That's one you can actually finish in like 20, 25 hours. Like it's really not long at all.
Yeah.
But yeah. So who knows?
Who knows? Indeed.
I have a child and everything, you know. Don't have all the time in the world to play long RPGs, except for Pokemon, which is also a long RPG.
Yeah.
I was looking at my Pokemon Y game, which is what I'm shiny hunting on right now, and I have over 300 hours
Oh wow.
logged in Pokemon Y.
Man, I'm not sure there's any Pokemon game where I have that many hours logged on a single playthrough.
Yeah.
Not even close, probably.
Yep. It's not even that old of a playthrough. Like it's over barely a year old, probably,
Yeah.
because yeah, I got it not that long ago.
Like, I think my Scarlet playthrough might be my longest
Yeah.
Pokemon playthrough. Just
I mean, my
'cause-
Violet is nearing that long, so it's over 200. And I had over 200 in Shield too,
Yeah.
which I was kind of surprised
I
by.
think maybe the first time I filled my Gen 2 Pokedex, that was probably a pretty long playthrough.
like way back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when I was 12.
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think, is there anything else that like stands out to me as like cool or funny or whatever?
So funny.
Very funny.
This has been a barrel of laughs so far.
Yeah. Like, I think there was one time where I said something I chose a dialogue option with Tifa, and I'm like, no, that was definitely not the right one.
Nice.
But it also felt exactly like what Cloud would say,
Yeah.
too.
Cloud is not the most suave guy.
No. He's a little awkward.
It's so funny. It happens in Persona to me all the time.
Yeah.
Where it's like the option that seems right, and then you say it, and like the way the character says it isn't really how I intended it,
Right.
and they take it wrong, and it's just not good.
Yeah.
It happens.
I found it's been easier with Aerith than Tifa,
Oh yeah,
but she's just, I don't know, she feels like she's easier to talk to.
she's very easygoing. Aerith
Yeah.
is so. Still alive, Aerith?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
But so I think the area where she dies in the original game is like 2 areas after the last area of this game.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I don't think it's going to be until part 3.
Yeah. So you think the next one, that should be the last one, is the next one?
I think
right?
so.
I would hope so.
And probably 4 years from now.
Yeah, for
But
real.
It's like on
I mean,
the one
this
hand,
is a massive game.
Yeah.
They just put out.
on the one hand, I want it to come soon,
Right.
obviously, but on the other hand, I don't want them to rush it.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like Pokemon Legends Z through A.
But I feel like they'd have to pad it a lot in order to, because there's really only like 3 areas left.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm sure they could do a lot with like Genova and stuff. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was this whole thing about the Gi. So I think they're in the original Final Fantasy VII, but they're just like a small footnote. Basically, they're not a big deal. Do you remember seeing Red 13's dad as a statue with spears sticking out of him?
yeah, vaguely. I think
So that was because he was attacked by the Gi.
the key.
In this game, you get their whole story and like go on a whole like adventure,
A whole
learning
Gi
about
adventure.
them. Yeah, and so basically
Nice.
they did not come from the life stream. They are outsiders, and so therefore
Whoa.
they cannot return to the life stream. So they are stuck as spirits in the planet, and what they want
Yikes.
to do is just be destroyed permanently.
Whoa. We want to die so bad.
Yeah, so
That's messed up.
they want you to find the black materia for them.
Whoa.
Now, anyone who's played the original game knows the black materia is what Sephiroth uses to cast Meteor.
Yes.
So,
That destroys all the planets multiple times.
so like the crew is like, okay, we're definitely not giving them the black materia, right? Because
Yeah.
that would be terrible,
That'd
right?
be crazy.
But they tell the Gi, oh yeah, we'll get the black materia for you.
No problem, guys. We're on it. That's funny.
Because, and then I remember in the original game, there's a temple you go to, and that temple becomes the black materia
Whoa.
fairly late in the game.
The black materia.
So I don't know if that's still what they're going to do with that.
That's
They
Nero's.
have,
That's Nero's favorite materia.
yeah, they have taken some
Like my cool
some
soul.
liberties with things and changed some things. So I don't know if that's going to be how that plays out. There's even debate as to whether Aerith is even going to die,
Yeah. Interesting.
which who knows.
That's so iconic. There's no way they don't kill
know.
Aerith, but whatever.
I'm going to be so. I'm so glad that the first time I played the game, I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
Like the original.
Yeah, you were like,
I
"Whoa."
didn't know Aerith died. I didn't know any of these characters, so everything was new to me.
Nice. That's cool.
Like I didn't have any spoilers.
Yeah, I knew everything going in always.
So,
Basically,
like-
so
Aerith had equipment and materia and stuff on her when she died when I played.
you're like, well,
Like,
that sucks.
yep.
Rip.
So on my second playthrough, I unequipped everything from her right before.
Nice. Take that.
She's
He's like, why are you taking all my equipment? No, don't worry about it.
I'm just keeping it safe.
Don't worry. That's awesome. Well, everyone, there you have it. That's episodes of the Brothers Game podcast. And let's just all have a happy year of the Shadow.
Yes.
Let's just celebrate Shadow the Hedgehog this year. Very important. Go listen to some My Chemical Romance. Play Shadow the Hedgehog. It's gonna be a good time. Oh, the trailer for Sonic 3 was shown at like a Comic-Con type thing, and so they've shown it, but from people's descriptions, there's a fight scene where Shadow is on a motorcycle flying through the air, and and beating the crap out of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all at the same time. And I'm like, Sonic 3 is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Love it. Can't wait.
Everything I want.
So with that, this has been us. Go follow us on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod. You can see what we post on Twitter. Wouldn't that be cool?
And please download the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, what's up, YouTube?
What up?
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Do all that, please. Would love a comment. Tell us about if you've played Final Fantasy. Tell us about how much you love Shadow.
Tell us about how annoying the mini games in FF7 Rebirth are.
Yeah. Do you love it? Do you hate it? You're like, oh, I want to be a frog. Okay.
All right. Good night.
It's very
everybody.
late. It's almost midnight. Goodbye.